Hello, it is the 26th of June. Sorry I've not been here in a while. It will all become clear why. I am also sorry that I look an absolute mess. My skin is terrible at the moment. Basically it's because of the surgery, which was over a week ago now. Because, this part of my face was all really tender and I was very cautious about knocking my nose in any way. I had a few days where I couldn't moisturise properly, and it's still, I can again now, but I am still at a point where I can't use the facial scrub that I would normally do every few days. Like exfoliating scrub thing. And we're having a heat wave at the moment, and my skin always suffers more in hot weather. So between all of those, it's very dry and flaky and horrible, and I've got no makeup on. So sorry for looking a fright. Feel free to look at something else while you listen to me. I will understand. So the reason I've not been here is because until yesterday, maybe the day before, I had so little energy for anything. Anything at all. Even just thinking energy was rock bottom levels. That is partly obviously just because I was recovering from the surgery. However, it became apparent at the end of last week that on top of that recovery, I had also managed to develop a partially collapsed lung. Now it is very possible that just happened. It can do, and I do have asthma, which means I'm at higher risk for it just happening. However, there is a correlation between general anaesthetic and a collapsed lung. Not because of the anaesthetic itself, but because while you're under, they have to intubate. They put a breathing tube down your throat and basically pump oxygen into you. And that doesn't necessarily damage your lungs. It shouldn't normally. And I am in no way blaming the anaesthetist, whatever, anaesthetic person, or anyone else involved in the surgery. I'm certain that they have not caused this to happen through negligence or anything like that. But that process of pumping the oxygen in does alter the pressure in your lungs. And so what I suspect has happened is that I already had a weak spot in my right lung, possibly have had for a long time, I don't know. Like I say, I have asthma, have had for a long time. And so that change in pressure just made something go. I probably should have realised a few days sooner than I did, but I didn't. Ended up spending all of the afternoon on Friday in A&E and speaking to respiratory specialists and having x-rays and and then I was back in on Monday for another x-ray and a review. The good news is that I don't actually need anything to be done. It is fixing itself. And although obviously my oxygen levels did drop and I was struggling with breathing, it never got severe enough that they'd have had to do something like it's an emergency. But it has not fully healed. No, the puncture will have healed by now, but there's still residual issues. It takes a while for your lung to fully reinflate. So I get breathless very easily, even just talking too much or too quickly. It's happening a bit now. I'm okay, but I need to slow down. Going upstairs is a nightmare. And again, the hot weather is not helping. I think it's supposed to be a bit cooler tomorrow, so hopefully that will help. What else was I going to say about that? Yeah, anyway, basically I'm getting better. I am improving. So I've got another review Tuesday next week. And it should just be a case of checking in until I'm fully back to normal and then being discharged. But obviously if anything else happens, then at least they'll know. And obviously if I have any alarming symptoms, I'm to go straight back to A&E, and I will, now that I'm aware of what the issue is. Anyway, these are supposed to be crafty chats, not health chats. And I have done quite a lot of crafting since we last spoke. One of the good things about having very little energy and not being able to do much is that I've done virtually no housework for a week, which has been lovely. Just starting to get back into it now. And therefore I have had extra crochet time. I've had done no actual work. No, that's not true. I did a bit yesterday. But very little actual admin-y stuff. I've just been sleeping and resting and crocheting, and it's been wonderful. So I'm not going to tell you about everything because I can't remember all of it. Most of it's upstairs. I've got a bag of sweets there I forgot about. That's not like me. I've eaten. I have finished another drawstring bag. I have finished, apart from one very tiny detail, the commission for my mum. I've made a tiny bit of progress on Salazzle for Ned. I need to get on with that. What else have I done? Oh, I've made a little mandala thing for my friend Lindsay. Her birthday's coming up very soon, and she's asked me to make a little one to go in her caravan. So I have done that. And there's other bits and bobs as well, but things to show you. I have been making scrunchies. These are to go, market. Go to markets basically. I will probably put them online as well. I've been playing around with techniques, found a couple I did not like, and they have been frogged. Let's start again. But I've got 4 slightly different ones at the moment. I didn't really like that first one I showed you. I'll show you again. And when I first made it, it's a bit thin. But actually, I quite like it now. So I will make some more like that. And there's a super frilly one. Super duper frilly one. It's quite cute. It's also got sparkly, that one. And then I've done one that is in 2 colours. Red on one side, black on the other. It makes it a bit thicker because I've done that's not how I've made it, but it's basically 2 panels crocheted together. So it's thicker, bulkier, but I quite like that one too. And they are so quick to make. Really good for using up scrap yarn. So, markets, here we come. Definitely market makes. I can whip up a bunch of those just every now and then when I don't know what else to make and I've got, I don't know, half an hour to spare or whatever, want to make something. Sorry, sniffing. I can whip up a scrunchie or 2 or 3 probably in half an hour, depending on which version I go for. I have also finally started, having been talking about it for a few weeks now, finally started making myself a summer top. That's what else I did. I finally sewed the sleeves onto my pink summer dress, which I made last summer. When the hot weather has inspired me to actually sew them onto the dress, and it looks lovely. It is I washed it this morning and it's just hanging up drying still. Didn't quite dry outside, so it's hanging up on our drying rack. Planning to wear it on my next podcast to show it off nicely. And yes, I have started yesterday, making a summer top for myself out of this lovely bamboo and tencel yarn that is just the drapiest imaginable. And it's so cool and lovely. I am sort of working for a pattern. I am and I'm not. So I found a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll talk about all this in more detail on my next podcast. I found a free pattern and I thought that looks perfect. Off we go. And I started making it. First of all, the hook size with this yarn, the recommended hook size with this yarn looked ridiculous. And even with that hook, I was nowhere near gauge. It just wasn't happening at all. So, but because of the construction, it doesn't really matter. So, downsized the hook. Then tried the stitch pattern that is in the pattern. It's this section here. It just looks a bit naff. So I'm leaving it in because I've done it and I don't want to frog it. But I've then just started playing around with other stitches and with some, this section is actually from a filet crochet grid, become more obvious next time. And yeah, when I've finished the crochet part, the construction is really simple. And hopefully will create a top that is quite flattering on me. I hope. And it'll be lovely and light and airy, and I can wear it over like a vest top and maybe a skirt, or maybe like some leggings, depending on what the weather's like. I'm thinking of actually getting my legs out this year. I don't normally at all, but it has been so warm for me. I really don't deal with the heat well, and having my legs out helps cool me down. So I might be brave and get like some cropped leggings, maybe. And yes, I should be wearing knee length, just below knee length, skirts and dresses, more than the maxi skirts I am better known for. It's a bit scary, but I think it's worth it. It means I actually need to like moisturise my legs, which I don't normally do, because otherwise they'll look awful and I'll be really self-conscious about them. But also that means I'll be able to show off my tattoo, which needs to be worked on, but again, money is an issue. Anyway, I'm babbling now. The point is, I'm working on that top. I am loving it so far, now that I've just started winging it. And I think it's going to look brilliant, and I may make more in the future in more yarns. Different yarns, different colours, for different seasons, because I could use the same construction technique. Could do it with a heavier fabric and get, you know, more sort of autumn winter top. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud, I'm babbling. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else of any use I was going to say to you, so I'm going to pack up and toddle off to bed. And now that I am feeling a bit better, hopefully I will come back on a roughly daily basis again with little updates for you. But that is all for now.